What is up, guys? Hey, welcome to today's video. My name is Rick. I am the owner of the Debt Free Mafia, and I'm also a financial coach. And today I wanted to talk about why it's not smart to buy a home with your significant other if you're not married. I think this is very important. This is a argument that I'm going to come from, not from a whether it's right or wrong standpoint. This is an argument I'm going to come from on is it smart financially kind of standpoint, right? So that's the way I want to look at it. I know that that's kind of a common trend, especially with millennials, and even with Gen Z, it's becoming a trend. Yes, Gen Z is actually starting to work into the workforce, so believe it or not. But yeah, let's kind of talk about it. I mean, it's very, millennials aren't the biggest on wanting to buy homes. However, here lately, for whatever reason, it's been an upsurge. I'm sure it has to do with lower interest rates and I don't know, the trendiness of buying a home and getting settled. But I kind of wanted to talk about that and kind of what are the risks that you're going to be facing in this kind of commitment, right? So buying a house is a commitment. And it's got to be viewed as essentially a partnership if you're not married, right? It's got to be viewed as basically a business decision, and that's why I would advise against it. So the thing is if you break up, and I will say this because I truly believe this, if you are not together because of commitment issues, which are there with a lot of people, right? Don't commit to a 30-year mortgage, right? Don't do it. I mean, there's step number one. Second thing, if you guys break up, who's going to be responsible for that thing? I mean, you both have your names on it. What if the other one stops paying their half or paying anything on it, right? One thing that I've noticed in being a financial coach is during a divorce, you typically don't want to be the spouse that ends up with the house, because a lot of the times you could barely afford the house together. Now you're having to come up with this big mortgage payment all by yourself. Like, it's a burden. Like, the house turns from a blessing to a burden real quick. So you don't ever want your house to be a burden. There's things to think about, like if you become, like, what if something crazy happens? And we talk about this, like I'm an advocate for disability insurance because it happens, guys. What if somebody becomes disabled and is unable to work and unable to provide, right? You wouldn't be entitled to any of their disability insurance claims. Like, they could keep all that and leave you high and dry with the house. There's something to kind of think about that. Also, kind of want to talk about something tragic would to happen. There's a big deal because, like, if your spouse, or sorry, not your spouse, but if your partner passes away, then you're stuck with the house. However, since you are not legally married at that point, their kin has just as much rights to that house as you do, and so it can get really, really stinking messy. So if you don't like your in-laws or in-laws to be, or your significant other's family, it could get really messy. And I say this a lot to my clients, but money makes people funny. So, like, if there's money in it and somebody passes away and they know that there's money, people start to act a little bit weird. It's human relationship. It's just weird with money a lot of the time. So we try to clear the air and try to not make it weird. We try not to be greedy here. That's not the goal. However, I always caution everybody against that. It can be very weird with that. So those are really kind of the big points that I just wanted to hammer home on why I would really caution you to do that. If you're trying to just be low key, and I would suggest this, run down to the courthouse, get married. It'll provide the cool thing about marriage. And again, this isn't even like whether it's right or wrong or morals. The cool thing about marriage is it provides a lot of protection to the both of you together. So if something happens to one, you can get protected by the others. Especially, for example, like I'm trying to think, like a really bad case scenario that could happen is, say that you're not married, you're both paying for this house equally. Let's say the house payment's $2,000, you're both contributing $1,000. One of you dies and your family is obviously entitled to your life insurance. So let's say that they cash in on your life insurance, your significant other gets nothing, and they come in and say, okay, well, this is our house, not your house. they also have all this cash to be able to fight you on it, and they can be able to make payments way better than you can, because they could even leave you high and dry and you're doubled up, right? So you have to be paying a $2,000 house. So I'm just telling you guys right now, it can get super messy. Marriage will clean a lot of that stuff up. It will make a lot of things easier. Also, not to mention, there's tax benefits to it also when owning a home together on taxes. So strongly consider that, guys. Again, this is not a moral argument. This is more of a financial argument on this side of stuff. I'm not here for the moral argument, but I am here to try to help you with your financial decisions. Really think through all those things. I mean, ask yourself why. I always do this with my clients. Why are you not married? Why? And then ask yourself why again. Ask yourself why on every reason you come up with. Ask why. Well, why do I feel that way? Well, why is this coming up? That's just common practice to kind of help you realize, kind of what angle you're coming from and whether or not you're in a good spot to buy a home. Because really, if it is some sort of commitment issue, don't sign up for a commitment on a house with somebody you're not even committed to, right? So I would just caution you there. Again, no judgment. It's just I want you to be as smart as possible when making this big of a decision. So I hope that was helpful for you. So thankful that you stopped by. Again, if this stuff is something you like, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. It means the world to me. I'm trying to grow this channel into a community that will help lots of people. Guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Peace.